On this edition of Dispatch, your layout photos, the question of the week, and a big shout out. Starting right now. You are watching Dispatch, the variety show for model railroaders. I'm Roy Smith. Thanks for joining me. As I said, we have your layout photos, the question of the week, and a big shout out coming up on the show. But first, 3 announcements. And here's the first one. In the last edition of Dispatch, I told you that I had received 3 of 4 freight cars that I recently ordered. Since then, the 4th one has arrived. A great big thanks to Roy Eltham and Mark Arnold, whose generous donations allowed me to add these 4 freight cars to my fleet. There's a PayPal link down below if you'd like to support this channel as Roy and Mark have done. I really want to thank all of you who have supported the channel. Second, I can tell you for certain that my friend Lee Weldon watches Dispatch. And I don't know, but maybe that's what he does instead of working on his layout. I've got photographic evidence, as you can see. In any event, you will see a close-up of his layout later on in the layout photos segment of the show. And the third announcement. I uploaded a video called Dummy Couplers Quick Tip this past Saturday. I will put a link to it down below. Anyhow, a westbound coal train appeared in the video, and after watching the video, many of you asked about my coal train operations in your comments. As it so happens, I uploaded a video called Running Coal Trains on my N-scale layout almost 4 years ago, way back in July 2017. In that video, I pointed out that there are no coal mines or power plants on my layout. So how do I justify the movement of coal trains? In the video, I will tell you how. There's a link to it down below. Norman Rowe said it's awesome that I can dig through my video archives, blow the dust off of the appropriate video, and show it as an example of what folks are inquiring about. Well, Norman, let me just say this. With more than 300 videos on this channel, I should already have a response to just about every question that might come up, if I can find the right video in the archives. Now then, first up on Dispatch, your layout photos. If you're like most model railroaders, you like to look at other people's layouts, and you can right here on every episode of Dispatch. Here's how it works. You post photos of your layouts in our Facebook group. Then I bring your photos over here to Dispatch to share with everyone during the show. And here are the photos you posted since the last edition of Dispatch. After the show, I'd like you to go over to the Facebook group and post a photo of your layout there because it's fun to share the hobby and we like to see what you're doing on your layout. I will put a link to the group down below where you can post photos of your layout. As always, you'll know you're at the right place when you see this photo at Echo Canyon on my layout. And now it's time for our question of the week. Here's this week's question. Where is your layout located? In the basement, garage, attic, spare bedroom, shed, enclosed porch, or somewhere else? And why is it located where it is? Here's how you responded to this question. As you can see, the largest number of you said your layouts are located in a spare bedroom, followed by the basement, garage, or a shed. The remainder of you said you put your layouts elsewhere, with one or two of you indicating each of the following locations: the porch, den, bonus room, the living room, family area, attic, your own bedroom, your office, a former dining room, a closet, or outdoors in the garden. And why did you choose these locations? Well, it seldom seems to be a matter of choice. Rather, where we put our layouts usually seems to be dictated by necessity. As so many of you indicated, there simply was no other place in the house to put your layout. In fact, it seems like insufficient space for a layout may be the biggest constraint that we model railroaders face. Some of you said you don't even have a layout for lack of space. But wherever you put your layout, it generally seems to require your spouse's approval or at least acquiescence. One of you said that he's been negotiating with his wife for more space for 39 years and so far has had no luck. This reminds me of the term man cave. A man cave is defined as a room or a place of solitude in the house where you can do as you please, including model railroading. Of course, your wife is in charge of the rest of the house. For example, Matthew Zeppieri wrote, "My layout is located in my basement. My wife and I compromised. I got the basement for my trains and she got the rest of the house." Ha! Me? Well, my house is pretty big, but even so, I'm confined to a spare bedroom that measures 10 feet by 12 feet, located where the red arrow indicates. But 10 feet by 12 feet isn't a lot of space, even in N scale. There are no basements here in Panama. Basements would turn into swimming pools during the 8-month-long rainy season. As for my open-air garage, that's where the car lives. In truth, I'm confined to my layout room. Every other space in the house is off limits for model railroading. I thought of blasting a hole in the wall through which to run my trains into the adjoining guest room, but the walls in my house are made of concrete blocks and steel reinforcing rods, and if I tried to blast through the wall, my wife probably would hear the dynamite going off. So like many of you, I'm stuck with what I got, a spare bedroom for a train room. Well, I'd like to thank all of you who responded to this question. Now, we do have a question for the coming episode of Dispatch, and here it is. Do you use JMRI? If so, what do you think of it? I would like to thank Charles Dempsey for suggesting this question. As always, be sure to post your answers to the question in the comments section down below. Then I will tabulate your answers and discuss the results in the next edition of Dispatch. Again, the question for the coming episode of Dispatch is, do you use JMRI? If so, what do you think of it? Now it's time for our big shout out. And our big shout out goes to Brian Page, his N-scale layout, and his YouTube channel, Brian Page Model Trains. On his channel, Brian is building his layout. He also covers a wide range of topics of interest to us model railroaders, and he does it in a way that is both informative and entertaining. Brian began to post content on his channel in January of this year, 2021. His N-scale layout actually consists of two layouts built one on top of the other. Each one measures 3 feet by 10 feet. The benchwork is plastic shelving with a layer of extruded foam on top of the shelving. Let's go over and take a look what Brian has done so far.
Hello model railroaders, I'm Brian Page. Welcome aboard Brian Page Trains. Alright, so here we are in the hobby / train room, and here's the N-scale layout. I haven't done any official research on this, but I do believe that I have created the world's first N-scale layout on plastic shelving. There's several reasons for that. I didn't want holes in the wall. I needed a place for the TV. So obviously I was not going for prototype or realism. The eventual plan here is that the top layout, which the track work is complete, will be DCC, and then I'm going to, on the bottom level, I'm going to make a DC layout because I have trains, locomotives and cars that are 40 years old, and they're going to run better on the DC. So here's an example of one right here. The layout is only 3 foot by 10 foot. My layout is just for rail fanning, not operations. It's just something for the grandkids and I to watch the trains go around.
I hope you will take a look at the rest of that video and other videos on Brian's channel. And I hope you will consider subscribing to his channel, because I believe you will enjoy his videos as much as I do. I will put a link to his channel down below. Brian, thanks for sharing your layout with us. Your videos are tons of fun to watch. Now, don't go away just yet, because there are more than 300 videos for you to watch right here on this channel. I will put a link to my videos page down below. Go over to it and browse around after dispatch ends. Or you can watch these videos over here just by clicking on them. Well, thanks for letting me share the world's most amazing hobby with you here on Dispatch. As always, I'm Roy Smith. Until next time, happy railroading.